Welcome back to our Raw podcast, Restoring Awesome Warriors. Appreciate you stopping by to join us and share some time with us. I'm Jackie H. And I have with me here my co-host, Gail Barron, the judge. And on this episode, we want to talk about life-changing moments. I know we all have them. Some expected and some unexpected. So we just want to talk together about some things that really I didn't expect that. Even some of the stuff that I knew, I didn't expect that. So I'm going to start off because 2 years ago, I finally went to grief class. I never knew I needed it. I just dealt with everything and pushed it, you got to keep it going. That's what we say, keep it moving. And I didn't realize until there were some behaviors that I had that a friend of mine said, have you ever attended grief class? I'm thinking, what did that have to do with what I just did? But I learned so much in grief class that with what I was going through. So I want to share one of my life-changing moments. We got plenty. But my first one was with Daddy. He was a strong man. I never seen Daddy down. So to see him get sick, that was life-changing for me, because if anybody was going to be up, it was him. Very rare that I seen him sick and in bed. So when he started taking sick, that was changing. But I could remember towards the end of his life, he went into a sleep and he slept for several days. So what I would do is go up to the hospital and wash him and, change his clothes and everything. And then I would come home to feed Mommy, get her washed up. Then I would go back, because at this time he was on dialysis. And the reason why I showed up for dialysis, because one day they left him down in the hallway, and we looking for where Mr. Wright at. Nobody knew. They actually forgot that he was down in the hallway. So I started going up to go with him to different places because he was nonverbal at this point. So I remember leaving the hospital. They told me that he was going to go down for dialysis around 3:00 that afternoon. So I left around about 11:30. The hospital just 5 minutes from the house. And I told the nurse, I said, I'll go home while since it's going to be in the afternoon, I'll go home and take care of my mother, and I will return, be on time to go down with him. So I pulled up to Mommy's house right in front of the porch. We have a porch house. And I got out and was shutting the door to my car, and the phone rang. Now, we done been in the hospital so much, I know the number to the hospital, 215-707. That's simple, right? So we know that number. So this number came up, and I was like, oh my God, I just left. They don't tell me they taking him down now. Like, I just got here. She told me it's going to be 3:00. So it's like, what done happened? They done changed the time on me. So I'm picking up the phone with this in mind, that she's telling me that they get ready to take him down for dialysis. They done change. I had no reason to think anything else. I said, hello? And the gentleman was a doctor on the phone. He said, hello, is this Miss Jackie Wright? I said, yes, it is. And at that moment, he started to say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now, that's not nothing compared to like we get ready to take him down to dialysis. That sound of, I'm so sorry. I knew something had happened. It was the tone. It was not what I was expecting to say he's going to. And the man said, he didn't make it. I'm like, didn't make what? Like, I heard the sound, so I knew it was something bad, but I couldn't put nothing together at that moment because it was unexpected. And I froze. Standing by the porch, I froze there. And I don't know how long I did. It might not be long, but it just seemed eternity because now I just lost my dad, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to go in the house and tell my mother that I'm just coming home to feed. Because every day when we came in, well, how's he doing? We gave an update. So what conversation is going to be for me to tell her this? So that day, I would never forget it.
Yeah.
I would never forget nothing. And by the way, mommy took it better than I was taking it because I was wondering how I was going to tell her. But when I told her, her faith, how she, was he comfortable? She started asking, like, no tears, no nothing. So she made it easier, but I never will forget that day. Making the phone calls to the siblings. What do I say on the phone? Like, I would do something different now because I told Darlene while she was, our older sister, while she was on the train. That was not good. So this was a learning experience along with the pain. Do you want to tell someone that while they in the street or driving? So I learned this afterwards, but that was devastation to me. So what was some of your devastation?
Well, before I get into the devastation, something you said about grieving. And grieving don't just have to be a death of a person.
No, I learned
that in death, divorce, of any loss,
anything.
And so, and then you mentioned about mommy. She didn't deal with the death. She went to other. Yeah. Was he all right? Or other, and so. Mm-hmm. That is the part of our culture that we came up where we didn't show feelings. And so being affectionate, we knew they loved us.
Right.
And we loved each other, but we never hugged. We never said, I love you, I miss you, or whatever that.
It was just understood, but never said.
It was understood, but never said. So when trauma did come, death did come, you just, oh well, okay, but not knowing that feeling went somewhere.
Right.
It went somewhere, and that leads to my current condition. Mm-hmm. Because prior to me having this stroke, I had a clean bill of health. 2 weeks before I had the stroke, I went to the doctor for my yearly checkup, and my blood pressure was slightly high. She said, but because of my history, she wasn't going to give me any medicine. Just come back in 2 weeks. But what she didn't know, I was stressed. Wow. The current job I had, I don't know if it was more stress or anger, because we didn't
angry. No,
we didn't express.
Right.
So I was angry. Mm-hmm. And the day that I had the stroke, I was at work. Mm-hmm. And I was arguing with my boss. But it was, at that point, it was to the roof. Mm-hmm. The anger. It had nowhere else to hide. So I couldn't go on like that because what I was being accused of was nonsense. And it just took me. Right. And they took me to the hospital from there because my blood pressure shot up, and we had a doctor's office downstairs. So they told me my blood pressure was high and to go and get checked out for observation. Mm-hmm. But because things were boiling, things were gradually going up. Mm-hmm. Once that trigger happened, that time, that was it.
That was it, yeah.
I went to the hospital. They kept me overnight. But then I came home the next day. They said everything was fine. That was on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Sunday morning, when I got up, I could move.
Wow. I remember that.
At all. Mm-hmm. I could walk. I couldn't do nothing.
Right. Right.
I went back to the hospital, and that's when they told me I had a stroke.
Okay.
So, having anger built up, stress, no matter what it is, release it. Yeah. Because if it goes internal, it's going to affect people may not realize it, but it affects your organs.
Right.
So today, I'm still suffering from that. I don't do that anymore. Whatever I feel, I say. Mm-hmm. I don't hold things in no more, because that price that I paid was high.
Right.
You remember I couldn't speak. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do nothing on my own. Right. I lost my income. So that was a high price to pay for not talking. So, I'm glad for us doing this. We're able to share. Yeah. We're able to express ourselves, good, bad, or ugly. Right. It's our truth.
Yeah. So the life changer for me at this point was, we was just at the height of our singing career. Yeah. We sat down in October, and we had made plans and wrote out our next year. We had the calendar filled for the next year of 2018. And December is when you had the stroke. So we talking about life-changing moments. Even after you had the stroke, we wasn't used to this. So it took the whole year. Well, it was about 2 years. It took everything that we had built. We couldn't even further it no more, because you was the main leader of the group, and and we did everything together. So that's a point of saying, get help for anger, get help for your stress, get help for your even if you don't know it. Some people don't even know they're angry. Yes. Some people don't even know they're stressing. I went through 3 other deaths after that. I had Mommy, Aunt Nora came to stay with us, and plus my husband. All those deaths, all those things, I just went on. I don't even think I shed a tear. I felt hurt, but it didn't come out. Like you said, we wasn't expressive. It was like, you're not going to stop life. You got to go on. And I don't know if that came from, I didn't thought we were supposed to cry when people die. Right. Like we supposed to expect that they're going on to another better place. But that was my mother, 50 years, 60 years with my dad.
Going against nature.
Going against nature. So
cry.
We would tell anyone today, cry, talk about it, express it. No matter if nobody else want to hear you. Write a letter, whatever it is. Unforgiveness and holding things, it only damaged you. Yeah. So I learned the hard way. Unexpected moments of my husband never wanted to go to the hospital, but this Friday he asked me, could I he was in such pain. He asked me, could I drive him? I knew he was in pain then, because if you asked me to take you, you're in pain. But that Saturday, we watched the Sixers game. We laughed and played. We ate. I ordered food. We had a good time because I had to go to work that night. I stayed down there all day. I went to work at 8 o'clock. I left the hospital at closing time. To get a call in the morning at 6:30, a half an hour before I get off of work, and said, I need you to beat it here. We taking him down to ICU. I can't fathom, like, we just sit there and laugh. We had a good, what are you talking about? ICU do what? Here it is again, unexpected, changing. Now, this is in the midst of COVID. Yeah. So nobody can be there with me. I'm there with him. His family couldn't come. My family couldn't come. So we talking. I'm talking about of the ICU. We talked a little bit. This on Sunday at 12 o'clock. I'm talking to him. He said, I can't make it. What are you talking? Like, that conversation was just wow for me. Well, Gail, by 4 o'clock, he was no longer here with me. I had to make the decision to pull the plug. Yeah. Things that just changed. and never went and got help for it. It was nothing else. They couldn't keep him alive. But for you to ask me to pull the plug on my husband, it was nobody here with me. Nobody can come. They wouldn't even allow nobody else in the hospital at that time. Once the person who came for that day, that was it. So these are things that we're sharing. Whatever you're going through in life, get help. Talk to someone. Don't bottle it down.
No.
We're talking freely today because there were just some things that we went through that y'all went through. We went through domestic violence. We went through divorces. Nobody went to get help for anything.
Yeah. And so that saying that is often heard, and now I know it's so far from the truth. It used to be, something to get you aroused. The commercial, the Energizer Bunny. And people used to say, take a licking and keep on. That is so far from the truth. You need to deal with whatever you're going through.
Yes.
Because if you don't confront it, you won't ever conquer it. And there's too much in life to be, you don't even realize when you're bound down or you yourself will think you're okay. Yeah. But you're not okay until that trigger. Something else that reminds you. Yeah. So and now, then those feelings will come back up.
So now our older sister had a stroke. So it's a memory. It triggers me. Like, if we get ready to go back down this same, because you never dealt with the first one. So when somebody gets sick and in the hospital, I don't go to hospital today. I know people probably, because I never explained to them, I don't want to go to a funeral.
Right.
My mother died in my hand while I was bathing her. I don't have to go to another funeral. I don't have to go to another hospital because I never dealt with it.
Yeah.
So now that I got the grieving class and start doing things, I deal with it better. But I didn't know I was hurting until I start lashing out and doing stuff. He said, you need to go to grieving class. What that had to do with grief? That's a loss. So losing your job.
Yep.
Losing a child, whatever it is, if it's a loss, you have to deal with it.
Your independence, my independence, I lost.
You lost it.
Now I can't drive. I got to wait for someone.
And you was boy, we can catch you. You was gone.
Yeah.
So you to call somebody to ask them to take you shopping, Gail? Yeah, that's devastation. So don't look at it what it might seem like it's not that important. It isn't. If you lost something, it's important. Lost your apartment, lost your house, whatever it is, talk about it. It went somewhere. Whether you discussed it, it's somewhere. And then when other things come up that I lost or is losing, before I lose, I'll back out.
Right.
So my thing is, before I lose, I'll terminate it. But it come from not dealing with my grief. So if you want to leave anything with someone today on grief, life-changing moments, what would Gail say?
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it. And
I'm hurting.
Yeah. And don't let nobody, I had to find this out in grieving class, don't let no one tell you how long you need to grieve.
That's right.
If it takes you 3 years, it might take me 10. Grieve. Go through the process. It's important. Then you can help others who's going through. So I couldn't help nobody else because I was always ducking stuff. I didn't want to face anything. Don't ask me to come to the hospital.
Right.
Even if it was for me to go for my own checkup, the smell of that room, it was nothing I dealt with. So I'm glad we're having this conversation of life-changing moments.
Yes.
What have changed in your life that you haven't dealt with? What can you just change today that you can talk about and not hide? Because what you don't deal with is somewhere. I don't know where it's at. And it might come off on the wrong person who had nothing to do with your hurt. Deal with your issues. Confront it. And as we always end this podcast saying, love God, love family, work hard, and be kind.